Hi everybody, it's Cassandra. Welcome to part 1 of how to make pretzel bread. Now, I'm going to tell you, if there's any bread makers out here, you will understand exactly what I'm about to say. I absolutely love making all types of different artisan breads. Breads that just taste so divine that you just literally feel like you're in another world, another country, and heavenly. I am an avid bread maker, and I would like to someday be advanced and professional. I think I'm getting there, though. It's such a magical process, and it's also an art. And making bread is very therapeutic for me. It's amazing. And if you love to make bread, or if you want to try this recipe, you're going to understand the magic that I have found in bread making. Okay, so this is called pretzel bread, and it is soft, it is delicious, it is flavorful, and you can eat it by itself in a bread dip, which I will show you in another video, or you can use it to make sandwiches, or you can use it as a side bread for any meal that you have. Now let me get on my light here. There we go, perfect. So to start out with, you're going to need 5 cups of sifted all-purpose flour, and I sifted this flour twice because I like for the sponge in my bread making and pastry making to be very well baked and very spongy. We're going to need a 1/2 cup of baking soda. We're going to need 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 1/4 teaspoon of active dry yeast, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, a 1/2 cup of beer, and what I do is I just get whatever I have on hand, and whatever's left over, I put it in an airtight container, and I stick it in the fridge, and I save it for the next time. Because those of you that know me know that I'm a waste not, want not kind of girl. We're going to need 1 cup of distilled warm water, no hotter than 110 degrees, but hotter than 100 degrees Fahrenheit, because you want to activate your yeast. Now, we're also going to need 4 tablespoons of melted butter, which I'm going to go ahead and add it to my flour right now. That way it's done. Now for our yeast mixture, we're going to add our 1 cup of warm distilled water, our 1/2 cup of beer, and let me make doubly sure this is sugar. It's sugar. I had it right here with the salt. Gonna add our 1 tablespoon of sugar to this mixture, and our 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. We're going to stir this yeast. Going to give it a good stir. And we're just going to let it sit for a few minutes. I usually let mine sit for about 10 minutes to bloom, but I know that this yeast is good, so you can just watch it if you want to, as it sits for just a few minutes. We don't have time to let it bloom for this video, but you can see it's already getting activated. Now we're going to add our 2 teaspoons of salt. Yes, that is salt, to our flour mixture. I'm just going to do that. Bear with me, I've got to get a spoon. I'm just going to go ahead and incorporate all this right here. And as you can see, my yeast is active. Now, like I said, I normally just let it bloom and it'll get really big and fluffy and just beautiful. But for the sake of this video, we're not going to wait the full 10 minutes. But I can see the little explosions going on in my bowl here. They're like little explosions. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I will wait just a few extra minutes so that you can kind of see it foam up and get really beautiful. Now, I'll explain what we're going to do with the half a cup of baking soda, but we do not put this in here. This is for our alkaline water. And I'll show you that after we move on to the next step. I can see little explosions, is what I call them. And they go poof, poof, poof. And I know that yep, see, there it goes. There it goes. It's going to get really big and fluffy here in just a few minutes, so I do want you to see that. I don't know if you can see it doing the little explosions, but there it goes, yep. That's really good yeast. I'm very happy with that. Very, very happy with that yeast. But I'm sure that since I've started this, you can already see that it's getting really nice and foamy. And that is my timer for my water that I'm distilling. Yeah, see how it's getting foamy? That's exactly what we want. Now, I know that this yeast is good, so I'm going to go ahead and add my beer and yeast mixture with the sugar and the water into my flour mixture. Now, this is going to be sticky. Let's put our olive oil right there for right now. This is going to be a really sticky dough, and that's okay because I have here sifted 1 cup of all-purpose flour for later on because you're going to need it. You're not going to add it to this. You're just going to need it for kneading purposes. So I'm just going to stir this about. I'm so excited about this. Now I've already got my 4 tablespoons of butter melted in here as you saw earlier and my 2 teaspoons of salt. My 1 tablespoon of sugar went into my yeast mixture and my beer and my water, and everything is fully incorporated and everything is good. Alright, now with my very clean hands, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to start kneading. I understand if you don't like to see people knead without gloves. I sometimes get grossed out myself when I see that. But here's the thing, people. I can't find any. I've looked. I have literally cried on my husband's shoulder and said, baby, I need gloves. I need my disposable gloves. I can't find any right now. I've looked everywhere, online, everywhere, and it's just like, I don't know where they're at. Excuse me, that's my dishwasher. I don't know where they're at, guys. I really just don't, but I am looking. Another reason I use disposable gloves is because I do not clean our toilets without gloves. So that's why I was crying to my husband, and I was like, babe, I have got to have some gloves. I've got to get some cleaning done. Now we're just going to transfer this to my sterilized, clean surface because I need to be able to knead this. So I want you to watch me knead it. Now you're going to knead this dough for between 10 and 15 minutes. You must knead it. Oh my God, it smells so good. I could just eat that dough. Oh my God, it's so flavorful. Now don't worry, if you're serving this to children, the alcohol in the beer cooks out. All you're left with is the flavors from the hops and the barley and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to knead this. Now, I don't seem to really need any flour, which is awesome. But in case I did, I sifted 1 cup just for kneading purposes only. But it doesn't look like I'm going to have it. So that's pretty cool. It is a sticky dough. Now, ideally, you're going to need this for between 10 and 15 minutes. But for the sake of this video, we don't want it that long and just watching me knead. I'm just going to kind of hurry it up here. It's already forming into a nice, beautiful, smooth ball, dough ball. It's very pliable, but we need to knead it just a little bit more. So y'all may just have to be bored for just a few minutes and watch me knead. Oh my God, y'all have no idea how good this smells. I've learned something too. When your dough smells good, whatever you're making out of that dough, it's going to taste delicious. Okay, I'm going to tuck this under, pinch it, and I'm going to make it round. Just for the sake of this video, I don't want to knead it too long and keep you bored. Now, this is where our olive oil comes in. I'm just going to do it like that. I'm just going to use the same bowl that I used to mix it all up in because I don't want to waste all them dishes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have dishes galore, so it's like my kitchen never gets clean. And I'm just going to take a clean paper towel, and I'm just going to rub it all over. And it's okay if you got crumbs in there. Don't worry about that. It's just dough. Put your dough ball in there. We're going to line it with a clean paper towel. We're going to let this sit for 1 hour. It's going to rise, and it's going to be beautiful. After that, I'll show you the rest in part 2, and I can't wait to show you. Like I said, don't get grossed out that you're using the same bowl that you mixed it all up in. Yeah, you're going to have little crumbs, but hey, it's okay. It beats having extra bowls to wash. So I'm just adding more olive oil. And this is a very warm place right here, so this is going to be perfect for it to sit to rise, and it's going to rise beautifully, and then I'll be back to show you the rest. Peace and love. Oh, look at all that bread dough. I'm telling you, you're going to love this. I'll see you in part 2. Love you guys and gals.